You see the team lineup? You even got some people calling them the new Avengers. But if I see one more TikTok saying Thunderbolts are just Avengers with trauma, I'm gonna lose it. Seriously, how do you compare this to this? That take is so mid, it hurts. It's the kind of surface-level analysis that gets thousands of likes from people who think reading a wiki page is the same as reading a comic. The Thunderbolts are not the Avengers, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because they are, by chance, something a little bit more interesting. Let me tell you why. Welcome back to Horoscope. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons to get all the best superhero takes out there. All done? Let's go! Okay, so we have to start at the beginning because the MCU's announcement practically invited this lazy comparison. I mean, we got a bunch of anti-heroes in a movie? OMG, they must be Avengers 2.0. No, you absolute walnut, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Marvel announced the movie, and suddenly everyone thought they understood this team. To most fans, they were just dark Avengers. But here's the thing, that's not just wrong. It's disrespectful to one of comics' most brutal redemption stories. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll get why the Thunderbolts aren't the new Avengers. There's something way more interesting. Something that actually says something about heroism that the Avengers never could. Let's start from the top, shall we? The year is 1997, and the Avengers are dead. In fact, everyone's dead. Onslaught just deleted them. Everyone, the Fantastic Four, too. The Marvel Universe has no heroes. And New York? It's vulnerable. Scared. The city that witnessed Galactus and survived is now looking at empty skies thinking, who's gonna save us now? People are lighting candles, holding vigils. The collective trauma is so thick you could spread it on toast. That's when we got the Thunderbolts. See, what makes this team unique is how they weren't born from tragedy. They were manufactured from it. Remember Baron Zemo, this guy who's been trying to kill Captain America since your grandpa read comics? Yeah, he gets a genius idea. A horrible idea. Heroes are gone, he thinks. People are desperate for symbols, for hope. So he grabs his old Masters of Evil crew, gives them new costumes, new names, and markets them as the Thunderbolts. Citizen V, Atlas, Mach 1, Songbird, Meteorite, Techno. These aren't nobodies, by the way. These were career criminals. People who fought the Avengers and lost. And with them dead, we're now the only game in town. If you haven't clocked it yet, the Thunderbolts were the longest con in comic history, and it worked perfectly. Why? Well, the public eats it up. They don't question why these new heroes seem kinda familiar with villain tactics. They don't blink when Citizen V's strategies seem a little too ruthless. They just want someone to fix their problems. The media crowns them. The mayor gives them keys. Kids are wearing Citizen Vi t-shirts. It's sick. It's perfect. It's exactly what Zemo planned. He wasn't just playing hero, he was playing human psychology. He understood that people would accept any savior if they're desperate enough. And if you think that just a comic book plot, well, just look around, and you will understand. Now, while the con was working perfectly, some of them started believing their own PR. Songbird, for example, who by the way used to be Screaming Mimi, a villain so delish he made the Shocker look prestigious, looked in the mirror and saw a hero. Atlas, this guy who's been a thug his whole life, was crying while saving people. Real tears, by the way. Something was wrong, the mask had become real, and that's where everything gets complicated. Because Zemo didn't account for one thing: actual human growth. I mean, the dude's a Nazi aristocrat. He thinks people are static. But trauma changes you. Responsibility changes you. And as the Thunderbolt would soon learn, wearing the mask changes you. For months, the Thunderbolts operate as heroes. They fight the wrecking crew. They stop Hydra plots. They do actual good. And time and again, they prove that the line between villain and hero isn't a wall. It's a tightrope. And they're walking it without a net. Think about it this way. Imagine you're a D-list villain your whole life. Everyone treats you like a joke. Hell, Spider-Man probably webbed you to a lamppost once and made a pun while doing it. Then suddenly you're saving babies and people are cheering your name. That feeling? It's addictive. It's better than robbing banks. Way better. Robbing banks gives you money. Saving people gives you purpose. And once you've had a taste of purpose, going back to villainy feels like, I don't know, like downgrading from PS5 to playing Pong on a broken TV. It gets so good that Songbird starts mentoring young supers. Mach 1 starts thinking about legacy. And that's saying something because he's this guy in a Beatles suit whose real name is Abner Jenkins. a man so defined by his gimmick that his villain name was literally Beetle. In practice, this should work. It could work. The team's doing the job, they're filling the void, the public's happy. Zemo's plan is succeeding beyond his wildest dreams. Honestly, if he just kept his mouth shut, they might have pulled it off. They might have actually become heroes for real, no takebacks. But here's the thing about wearing a mask. Sometimes your real face starts to show through anyway. And sometimes the person under the mask becomes someone you don't even recognize anymore. Just when we thought the Thunderbolts might actually pull this off. They don't. Because of course they don't. The universe hates a happy ending. A stray comment. A reporter asks the wrong question. And Zemo, who cannot help but be a Bond villain, who has zero chill and even less foresight, decides to monologue. Honestly, it's not even a surprise he has to. It's in his DNA. He tells the world who they really are, thinking they're all still loyal. Thinking they'll follow him to the next phase of world domination. He outs them on live television. So what happens next? Well, of course, they don't follow him. Songbird and Atlas were devastated. Mach 1 is confused. The team fractures immediately. Half wanted to go legit, half want to be villains with better branding. It was like watching a group project implode in real time, except with more explosions and emotional trauma. And then came the real nightmare, Norman Osborn. See, after Civil War, Osborn, yes, the Green Goblin himself, a man who makes Zemo look stable, gets put in charge of the Thunderbolts program, and he does what Osborn does. He weaponizes it. He makes them his personal hit squad. He adds Bullseye and Venom to the roster. He basically turns a redemption story into a horror show. Suddenly, the Thunderbolts' name becomes toxic. I mean, what do you expect? The whole scheme was just villains policing villains. It's like making a fox the head of the henhouse security and being shocked when feathers fly everywhere. And that's exactly why the Avengers comparison is so dumb. Remember that? Yeah, we are still on that topic. See, the Avengers are a prestige brand. The Thunderbolts are a name you have to escape. Every member who wears that logo carries the stink of Zemo's original sin and Osborn's corruption. They're not the new Avengers. They're the team that proves some stains don't wash out. Some brands are permanently damaged goods. Looking back, the real twist isn't that the Thunderbolts failed. It's that they kept trying anyway. Like some kind of cosmic joke where the punchline is, and then they tried again. But the thing is, redemption in the Marvel Universe is usually a solo act. You mess up, you spend a few issues brooding, maybe wear a black costume for a while, and then you're back on the main team. But the Thunderbolts, they institutionalized redemption. They made it a group project, and group projects always suck. There's always that one guy who doesn't pull his weight, and in the Thunderbolts, that guy is usually a sociopath with superpowers. I mean, Bucky Barnes takes over, Luke Cage takes over, Red Hulk. Different leaders, different rosters, same cursed name. It's like if your startup failed spectacularly, but you keep the name and just hire new people, hoping the stink wears off. It doesn't. It won't. The name Thunderbolts is like herpes. It never really goes away. It just goes dormant. But that's the point. See, the modern Thunderbolts writers like Jim Zub and Kelly Thompson get it. They lean into the dysfunction. These aren't shiny heroes. They're in rehab. Court-mandated superpowers. The MCU got it half right, but in the comics, it's literally on the recruitment forms. By signing here, you acknowledge you're probably going to betray us, but we're desperate. Think about it this way. The Avengers are the Yankees. The Thunderbolts are the team of disgraced athletes who only get to play if they wear ankle monitors. Time and again, they prove the system is broken. But occasionally, it works. And when it works, it's magic. For example, Songbird eventually makes it. She becomes an actual Avenger. After years of carrying the Thunderbolts name like a scarlet letter, after decades of proving herself, she gets the call up. And you know what? She brings that trauma with her. She's not shiny. She's not pure. She questions orders. She doesn't trust easily. She makes the Avengers better because she knows what failure tastes like. She's been the person behind the mask, and she knows how thin that mask can be. Bucky Barnes leads the Thunderbolts and uses them to hunt down the people who made him a weapon. It's therapy with explosions. With Luke Cage's Thunderbolts, we see actual parolees getting a shot. Look, the team's not a hero group. It's a halfway house with a jet and a budget that keeps getting cut because, shocker, people don't trust villains. But then that's where it gets ironic because fans started wanting to be Thunderbolts. In 2025, the MCU announcement dropped, and suddenly, everyone wants the dark, edgy team, the one with the asterisk. The one that says, we're not the Avengers, and thank God for that. It's the streaming culture effect. Everyone's watched every hero story. The Thunderbolts offer something else. Something with texture, with consequences, with the understanding that heroism isn't a state of being, it's a daily choice. But what they don't see is that for the Thunderbolts, the real redemption isn't just individual, it's systemic. The Thunderbolts prove that even the most broken system can produce something good if the people in it are trying. Not perfect, not pure, but trying. And honestly, that's more heroic than any perfect Avenger ever could be. So where do we stand? The Thunderbolts movie was a success, starring Bucky, Yelena, Red Guardian, Ghost, Taskmaster, US Agent. It was a lineup that screamed, these people have issues, not these people have action figures. And it was perfect, actually. Chef's kiss levels of perfection. Because if they'd given us a team of pretty people with minor flaws, it would have missed the entire point. What makes Thunderbolts unique in 2025 is that they're anti-heroes in a world that finally understands the difference. The Avengers are aspirational. The Thunderbolts are relatable. I mean, who hasn't screwed up? Who hasn't needed a second chance? Who hasn't felt like damaged goods trying to do better? The Avengers are who you want to be. The Thunderbolts are who you are when you're trying to be better but still mess up constantly. They're the touchgrass version of superheroes, and that makes a lot of sense in the MCU because Phase 5 is all about consequences. Secret Wars is coming. The multiverse is cracked. You can't just keep adding shiny heroes to a broken universe. That's like putting more ice cream on a melted sundae. You need people who know how to operate in the cracks, who knows how to fight dirty because sometimes the fight is dirty. Sometimes you need someone who's bled to understand bleeding. The Thunderbolts aren't the new Avengers. They're the team that cleans up the Avengers' messes. They're the people who deal with the problems too morally complicated for Captain America to punch. They're the ones who understand that sometimes redemption means doing the wrong thing for the right reason. And time and again, they prove that heroism isn't about being pure. It's about choosing to do good when your whole history says you shouldn't. When every instinct screams, take the easy way out. The way I see the Avengers are a family. The Thunderbolts are a support group. And in 2025, with everything happening in the world, honestly, I think we need both. We need the dream and the reality. We need the inspiration and the cautionary tale that somehow became inspirational anyway. But what do you think about all this? And while you're at it, drop your favorite Thunderbolts moment below. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons for more takes that'll probably get me canceled in certain comic book forums. Until next time, don't you dare make a TikTok calling them an Avenger.